GSL.
Welcome back, everybody, from around the world. StarCraft fans everywhere are waiting to find out one of their two favorite players, iconic hero Parting, or the up-and-comer Sora. Which one of these two players is going to get out? They had a match earlier, and now it's the rematch. Sora was able to edge out a win that Parting basically had won already on Sejong.
Yeah. Parting, you know, maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself, not migrating to the best of his ability in that game. And it came back to bite him, but he's back here again, and he wants blood. And this is going to be on Foxtrot Labs, another one of our new maps. Very excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a fun one for sure. Foxtrot Labs was actually my personal pick out of all the TLMC finalists. I had a lot of discussion with people about it. I was saying, like, this is the map you want to put in your pool. Glad they listened. Putting that map in. Very good map. All right, Parting up against Sora, the final best of 3 of this group to find out which one of these players is going to Code S.
Down here in the bottom right in the red, he is
SK Telecom T1 Party.
Notably, we are in close spots, really close. The bottom left, CJ Entus in the blue.
CJ Entus Sora.
That flash on the overlay freaks me out every time.
So we're looking very focused.
Well, just taking a look at the new map here. See that the third base is, you know, pretty good for Sora here to take far away from his opponent. Could say the same with Parting though.
Yeah, both players can expand away from their opponents, besides the natural of Sora's, but usually in PvP, not really going to come into play too often.
Yeah, you notice there's like a bunch of you know, gold medal patches over there. There's weird attack paths and flying stingray-looking things.
Yep.
They look like a cross between a stingray and a hammerhead shark. And a,
yeah, actually.
And a firefly. And the ship from Star Wars that Obi-Wan pilots that, like, from Jar Jar's base, like in Episode 1, like, yeah, it all comes together.
Saw some weird things in test tubes over there as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, this is Foxtrot Labs, so, I mean, they're testing something.
Hopefully no hybrids going on here. Like that bonus mission with Duran in StarCraft 1. Spoiler alerts. Those who haven't played the campaign definitely should get on that, actually. Just download StarCraft 1, play it. It's like, actually...
Yeah. Speaking of, like, one-player games, you've been having a little bit of a foray into that.
Yeah, well, I actually... I got my very first PlayStation. One of my friends was leaving Korea, and he was like trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff. He sold it to me for a very cheap price. Came with GTA 5, which I'd never played a GTA game before, so that was an interesting experience. And I didn't know that you could actually download basically every PlayStation game that ever exists on the PlayStation Store. So I bought Final Fantasy VII, and I've been enjoying that thoroughly. It's been keeping me up late at night playing so much. And also, Metal Gear Solid is so sick. I never got into that series either because I just never had a PlayStation. So I played like the original Metal Gear on NES, but anyway, I've been playing a lot.
I was more of a PlayStation guy myself, so I played all the GTAs, and I played Final Fantasy X. Definitely one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
That's my next one after 7. I'm gonna do it.
Such a fun game, man. I love it. The story is like amazing as well.
Well, so far in this game, we have you know, pretty basic stuff. Stargate going up here for Parting, and a Twilight Council for Sora. And you know, these positions, I like both builds, so they're both gonna work out fairly well here. Oracle especially going to be able to traverse the distance very quickly. Might put a hamper on enabling stalkers.
Oh, and he just barely scouts that pylon. Just barely.
It doesn't even turn around, actually, to check for it. Mothership Core scouts in these positions actually can be quite useful as well. Not much mining time he's losing here. He's still losing probes anyways.
Kills 2 probes. Gonna get to work on that stalker. Not gonna be able to kill it.
He's gonna lose the Mothership Core.
Yeah, he actually
gonna lose it. Meanwhile, this Mothership Core doing some work over there.
And he's going to be able to recall. Wow. So
That's
Parting
a
keeps
huge
his alive, and Sora doesn't have his.
Huge advantage there.
And both players getting a scout of what's going on. So Sora's going to be ready for the Oracle. But of course, Parting is going to have the preparations ready for the Blink follow-up. It's coming out of Sora.
Yeah, that means if he ever moves out, he's good. One of our new doodads in this patch is the, or I guess you could call it a critter in this case, because it's actually, it moves around, you can select it as the cleaning bot.
Yeah. Making the map nice and clean.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there's no Zergs on this map, so it's not dirty.
I guess it's not going to clean up the creep.
Yeah. That would be weird if it like made little paths in the creek and stuff. Like,
that'd be interesting. StarCraft 1, there were a lot of actual neutral critters and neutral things that you could actually use on the map. So notably a map, I can't think of the name of it, where you could actually invest a command center. It happened in like a pro game where you invested a command center, the Queen, and use infested Terrans against a Protoss to break a wall. Or like disruption webs on the ground and whatnot. I miss maps like that. I wish we had stuff like that in StarCraft 2. It's really hard to balance though, obviously. So Oracle comes in here, hoping that the Stalkers are moving across the map. They're not. He actually made a second Oracle, so he's got a lot of threatening power here. But Sora's already transitioned out of this. He's going into, looks to be a Robo into Expand.
which is pretty interesting because Parting back at his base, he decided to counter the Blink with the Blink of his own. And with the Robo up already of Sora, if he ever identifies the fact that Parting has Blink and may want to go aggressive, he'll easily just be able to make 1 or 2 mortals and hold it off pretty easily. Especially scouting that forward pylon, I don't see a push out of Parting really working. Does deny the Nexus coming up here.
Yeah. And, you know, that Oracle is just lurking around, always threatening. Both Oracles, of course, doing that. And Stalkers blink on it. Might be able to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Last shot there.
So it's kind of a funny situation. He was expecting a DT follow-up. Not happening. A lot of Stalkers moving across the map, actually. Blink almost done counter-wise for Parting, though. So if Sora tries to do some fancy micro, he might actually be very sad to learn this. And with a scout on those Stalkers, he actually moves the Oracle in. I think there's a few Stalkers at home.
Well, he's got the Mothership Core. Decides he doesn't want to sack the Oracle, just gets 1 kill and gets out. Oh, missed Blink here.
Blink. Oh no, 2 Stalkers are free.
Oh, that's so unfortunate there for Sora. He's trying to blink away, and Parting catches him out there in the middle of the map.
The worker count much better here for Parting. But the Nexus, if I'm not mistaken, is much further ahead for Sora, so he's going to be able to get those double pro production up pretty soon. To catch up in that sense. Parting is late on his Robo, as you mentioned earlier. Oh, I'm wrong about the Nexus. In fact, he may even be able to... Nah, not quite. Nah. Damages heavily.
He's like, oh, you're not going to chase me? I guess I'll go back to hitting it, but then...
The terrain on this map allows so many different interesting things to occur like this, where you can like blink over like 4 different places to attack a Nexus.
Yeah, a lot of different ledges, a lot of different places to blink up and down, drop up and down. If we see a Terran, you know, we will see him later on in the day. If you guys stick around.
Oh, Sora is so focused on this Oracle that he actually loses so many Stalkers here. Like, he would have actually crushed that army of Parting.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been no chance, but he like killed like 3 Stalkers for free and then killed the Immortal.
Yeah.
And now Parting has actually got a massive worker lead, 2 bases. He's about to have his own Immortal. And he's got +1 on the way. Not looking good for Sora here. Just some massive control mistakes. And we're talking like, I mean, these control mistakes have been like embarrassingly bad.
Yeah. Move command, not the most, what is it, elegant mistake you can make. Definitely pretty embarrassing.
Oh, Parting needs to blink away.
And he does blink away after that second shot. Does dodge that. Might be able to blink down from that ledge, but Sora's on the chase, and he gets another attack down. Blinks away once again. May have been able to pick off another Stalker here. Didn't quite get the vision on that.
Well, Bay goes up here. Sora's been loving his Robotics Bay in these games. Parting again goes for Temple Archives. Wonder if we'll see Storm again. Pretty classic in that regard.
Yes.
Keeping it real, keeping it the same most all of these games he's played today.
Charge is going to be followed up here as well.
Yep.
Pretty standard follow-up. Going to make a bunch of Zealots and Archons.
He just needs that extra gas, you know. He's got only 4 gases. If he had a 5th and a 6th, it'd be great. His 3rd and 4th are fairly late here. And once he gets enough gas to research Storm, you may see that. It's not a given. Adds a bunch of gates as well. Tough to attack the 3rd base on this map. We talked about that a lot. It's really far away. But the funny thing is, for Parting spawning locations, if he wants to take the 3rd that's to the top right of where he is right now, it's pretty safe. But for Sora, he either has to take the one that's top left, which is kind of far away, or he has to take the one that's to the right of his natural, which is just super close to Parting and an easy location for Parting to attack.
Yeah, super easy. Nice deny on the scout there. Going to pick off a couple of probes. Gets 3, actually, and blinks out. Up to 10 workers killed so far.
Our Robotic is still showing idle here in terms of highlights. And the Robotic Support Bay has been scouted. So maybe that's why he's not letting him start laboratory so well from the last time.
Another scout comes in here. One thing to note as well, Parting very far ahead in upgrades actually. We're not getting a look at it just now, but he was having the +2 about to finish there. As Sora is just now starting his +2. So if Parting goes for a timing here with Archons, Immortals, and Charged Zealots at +2 right when it finishes, could be pretty devastating.
He's already up 20 army supply. I think he's just going to hit it. You know, why not? There's only a few Colossi to be had here. He takes the engagement right now. So many Zealots, an overwhelming amount. Time Warp here is really good as well to help close the distance. A good snipe on the Mothership core by Sora here. He's actually just going to target down with those Immortals. The next, once that's gone, it's a whole huge blocker gone, you know. That opens up a bunch of different attack paths for his Zealots.
Yep.
And the
no
cannon's
cannon.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And perhaps most importantly of all, no more mining at a very important base, one of the only 2 you've got.
Yeah, and now he's got the Warp Prism in this mix as well. I mean, he's got Blink Stalker, Sora does, but he could definitely micro those Immortals in and out. He may not even need to. He's just so far ahead at this point. Parting is being very safe. Sora is slowly getting his Colossi count up here. But Parting's just going to walk away for now.
Yeah, he's got a Fleet Beacon on the way, so he's going to get these Tempests out. Start using those to zone out those Colossi.
I think after he lost that second game on King's Agent, deciding to play it a little bit safer, but actually Sora trying to go for an attack here, and Parting says, no, you moved out too far. He's going to drop a bunch of Zealots here onto those Colossi as well, and he's going for the kill.
Yep, just needs to get those Immortals targeted on those Colossi if he can. Got so many Blink Stalker to help out as well. It's just an overwhelming amount of units, and that's going to be it. Parting will take game number 1 here of our final series. It's going to be Sora to pick up Sora to pick the next map. Parting been dancing. GG.
Parting, ouch. Looking really strong, as he did in game number 1 against Sora in their first matchup. So Sora has come back from a 1-0 deficit before. Can he do it again? That's the question. I feel like Parting, though, we saw in the second game that he lost in the first matchup they had, where he was just a bit too overconfident. We saw here he was playing much safer, and I don't actually personally think he's going to let that happen again.
I don't think so either. I think he's actually just going to keep it cool, keep it calm, and I think he's pretty poised to take this series, but never count Sora out. Yeah, he looked really good in the first PvP. Let's see what map he chooses.
That is the question. Maybe he'll just pick King Sajan again.
Yeah, I think so.
Wouldn't be surprising. Yep, does it again.
This is just a smart pick if you feel like you know your early game is a bit weaker, or you feel like you're really comfortable in the late game against a player like Parting, taking defensive engagements. An attack like the one we saw Parting execute in that last game there is very unlikely to succeed on King Sejong Station in that way. It's too easy for the defender. It's just a small choke point you have to attack into, plus the Nexus Cannon. Very difficult to actually get in there and burst the Nexus down with those Immortals. Well, I think it's a good choice. Parting looks confident here. He's got a smile on his face. You know, he's got an extra life in a sense. This is Sora's last chance. I think he has to win another game after this if he wants to advance.
He's got a big hill ahead of him. He's climbed it before, but Parting, this hill has gotten bigger. He's more prepared this time.
Definitely looks that way. We're going into what could be our very last game of Group G. Parting versus Sora to determine the last player in this group to go into Code S.